I've come back to my birthplace, the hospital where I was born, the area where I grew up, Harehills in Leeds in the north of England. It's where I spent my childhood, and in photographing these streets as a teenager, first discovered my creativity. There's a lot I don't miss about living here, but I return to it with a strange nostalgia. My mum grew up in Harehills. My dad came over from Poland and met her here. We lived around many other cultures in Harehills, next door to a Pakistani Muslim family. As a child, I grew up watching the women shaking their rugs, the sound of their children playing. There was a sense of mystery about womanhood in particular. Now, as an adult, an artist, and a mother myself, I've brought my children up to Harehills to seek inspiration to make a new piece of art. Coming back here, I'm following a curiosity from my childhood about the Pakistani Muslim women I remember. The intrigue toward their mysterious lives follows me now. I want to go behind the veil and create the unseen mystery of a Muslim birth.
We'd like our baby to be born in silence, with no staff talking. The first words he should hear are the Adhan call to prayer that I will whisper in his right ear. Before the cord is cut, before he is cleaned, before any examination, we would like that moment together. We like the lights dimmed, if possible also. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله.
When I first started to study Pakistani Muslim women birthing in the West, I liked the idea of creating a home birth scene. I thought maybe they'd want to recreate what they'd always had in rural Pakistan and give birth in a familiar domestic environment. But as it turned out, literally everyone I spoke to, midwives and mothers, told me that Pakistani Muslim women were actually the cultural group least likely to home birth. As when many women emigrate from poorer countries, they are more likely to see the Western medical model as a luxury. Right, can you get off so I can look at this more interesting baby? She came out with the caul round her head. Ah, so odd. What I feel like I've stumbled upon is the seed of a very powerful juxtaposition between the clinical environment and some really fascinating Islamic rituals that Muslims use when they have a baby. I became particularly interested in the Adhan prayer, which is the Muslim call to prayer, said 5 times a day from the mosque, and it's also whispered into the ear of every newborn baby.
At the birth of a child, the Adhan is the first suggestion of belief, of God is great.
Some Muslim families do this in the first few hours following the birth, when the baby's cleaned and wrapped. But interestingly, I heard of Muslims that are doing it straight away with the cord still intact. Islam does recommend that the Adhan is said in the ear of the baby as soon as possible. So by saying it as soon as the baby is born, it's as soon as it possibly can be done. But not only that, it goes hand in hand with the science. Not cutting the cord straight away is so important for all babies. The blood flowing from the placenta is all the baby's blood that it needs for optimal blood pressure and iron levels. And there's also been tests done later in childhood to show that the neurodevelopment of those children is better. Admittedly, when I first heard about the ritual, I was sceptical because I thought that this is potentially something that disturbs the immediate connection between the mother and the baby. But when I actually spoke to Muslim mothers and midwives, there was so much positivity around it. One woman even said to me that it was the moment that made her whole birth worth it because she had a particularly traumatic emergency cesarean. I think also when women give birth, there is that moment of exhaustion, and it's called rest and be grateful. To be able to have your partner hold the baby and say this prayer into the ear, I can really understand to be an ingenious idea, I think, by Islam. There's popcorn in there. Sorry, I'm going to have to give birth again. Just like any other day for you, isn't it? Privacy is constantly challenged in hospital because the setting of hospital is no more set up to give birth than it is as a setting to make love. It's not intimate, there's bright lights, there's beeping machines, there's people coming in and out. Yet it's the place that most women choose to give birth. What does privacy mean in childbirth? How can we keep our privacy in a hospital setting? I want to create an image that is relatable to all the women that use this setting to give birth in. This ritual is making a sacred space, almost warding off unnecessary intrusion from hospital staff. I also found out about the role of Maryam in the Quran, and that there are Muslim women who are inspired to give birth in a more upright position.
Grieve not, your Lord has provided a water stream under you, and shake the trunk of date palm towards you.
The flower of Maryam, many Muslim women take to labour with them. They put it in water and it opens up slowly over the hours of labour. It's a powerful visualisation tool. I really love the journey this has brought me on. I actually really love how Atia looks, so like natural, like she's just wandered in. Cupped hands to the heavens.
And looking towards baby?
Yeah. I really hope that the final image, to Muslim women in particular, might be of inspiration. 3, 2, 1. But also to women universally, reminds them of the peace in the first moments of a baby's birth.
Honestly, I think that's it.